What's in a horror game? You might think of games like Resident Evil for pioneering the genre and making zombies a staple. Maybe Alone in the Dark for being the first survival horror game series. Outlast for its visceral found footage gameplay and jump scares, or PT for changing horror games in the last decade with a new vision. In these contexts, horror is about ghosts, monsters, or some unexplainable evil that haunts the player. But horror doesn't have to be about being stalked by a monster or some kind of ancient evil. Fundamentally, horror is about fear, and there are a lot of things that can make us afraid. We often fear the abstract. We fear regret and indecision. We fear the passage of time itself. These are existential fears that aren't often explored in the genre. These two games are about those who, when confronted by those same existential fears and desires, chose to use corrupted means to alter the natural course of time. In doing so, they became subject to terrifying nightmares of their own making. In their inability to accept nature, they were left with digital regret. This game is called No Players Online. There are two versions of this game, an original on itch.io and a demo for a yet unreleased new version on Steam. I'll be talking about both to form a cohesive narrative. The plot of the game is that you, the player, come across an old PC. You log in and explore the PC and can check out some of the applications and games it has installed. There's a web browser and an old forum board about game development. However, there seem to be odd anomalies with obscured threads containing corrupted or missing information. You can download and play a few games, a dating sim and a game where you hunt sharks with knives. After looking through the PC, you're invited to play a game by an online stranger. He gives you the download file and you boot it up. You're greeted with a room list with the option to create your own room. After putting in any number for the room size, you select the only available map, CTF Gorge, and join the game. As soon as you join the server, you take note of the ominous feeling it creates. There's a sense of unease that comes from playing a multiplayer game with nobody online. If you've ever played an old Gmod or Counter-Strike map by yourself, you can understand the odd vibe and generally creepy atmosphere that this game creates right from the start. The game mode is Capture the Flag. You capture the first flag and notice the environment starts to change. A mysterious user joins the server and creepy music starts playing from a music box. You catch glimpses of a shadowy entity. Eventually it makes itself known to you. You can't shoot it, you can't interact with it, but it will continue to haunt you. Here's where the game versions divert. In the original, after exploring the game for a while and interacting with the entity, a strange user will join. He explains to you that he is the developer of the game named John, and this game allegedly has the power to raise the dead. He is confused how you got access to this server and begs you not to capture the last flag, as it would end the game and set his wife's soul free. You then get the choice to close the game as he asks, or walk into the light and free his wife. In the new version, you can't capture the flag even if you want to. The game isn't done with you yet. The PC crashes and you log back in. This time when we go to log on, the letters spelling out sentimental slowly appear on the screen. This is thematically important. We usually associate being sentimental positively. It's reminiscing about good times and looking back fondly on things. But John's sentimentality is a subversion of that. It's a disease that has caused him to seal away a shell of his wife in his computer instead of letting her rest. When you log in, the background has a reddish, slightly more corrupted tint to it. And looking through, you can find information on the soul transfer application. In the original game, the soul transfer device is only accessible via entering a secret code on the menu to disable collision. Then when you join a map, you can fall off at the beginning, wherein you land in a hidden prison. You can explore this prison for a bit. It looks like someone has been here a while. Maybe it's a previous ritual attempt. When you approach the computer, it asks you for a code. Entering the code 191421 opens the machine and allows you, the player, to sacrifice your life to become a vessel for the disembodied spirit of John's wife. It's not entirely clear what it's being used for in the new version, but it has to do with some kind of ritual that combines existing applications while shards of Sarah will remain present. Messing around with the application creates strange, corrupted versions of the games you've already played. Sarah will haunt the player in some way, either by replaying her memories or by being a part of the game itself. While the lore isn't exactly clear yet, what is apparent is that there was some sort of accident involving John's wife on a pier. You get the sense by looking through the old memories that John then needed to take care of his wife, leading to conflict between them. Perhaps at this point is when he put her soul into the computer before she would die. John then somehow used the soul transfer application and implanted Sarah into his PC with an occult ritual. This is where you continually run into it. She's the entity you keep finding, as if shards of her are desperately reaching out to the player. The last thing she says before the demo ends is, "Look within, find me there." Grief and loss are a part of life. This story shows the consequences of failing to accept that. John's story took him from a devoted husband to someone so unwilling to move on that he opted to imprison his wife for decades, like a literal ghost in the machine. Instead of letting her rest, her husk roams the empty plains of a long-abandoned FPS map, hoping to one day be set free. I look forward to the completed story when the full version comes out. However, there's one more piece of supplemental content to look at here. There's a supplementary game file where you play as who I assume to be Sarah as she walks her dog. The sequence ends as you are let off the pier and into the water as you perish. You are then greeted with this cryptic video. This is a VHS recording of some kind of forest or road, overlaid with song lyrics to a song from 1938 called Blue and Sentimental. The lyrics to this song are in some way a reflection of John's inner thoughts towards his wife after she died. It starts off somber, a lamentation of John's grief with words like, "Blue and sentimental, my dreams are blue dreams. Just won't come true dreams, blue dreams I find. Blue and sentimental, I can't forget you." The imagery and music gradually become more sad. You see shaky cam footage of some kind of forest as the tone distorts. Combined with the lyrics, it takes on a very depressing tone. The skies in my eyes, in my heart, all cry. The tone changes again. This time it becomes more threatening as John's psyche becomes more sinister. This music, these creepy environments, something is deeply wrong with John. Something is wrong with the things he is about to do. Blue and sentimental, if you don't want me, why do you haunt me? Thank you for watching. Digital Regret is going to be part of a series exploring unique forms of digital horror. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for future videos.